because signing on with the New World Order is like tying a millstone around your neck, to quote Christ, and throw yourself in the deepest ocean. A millstone's one of those giant stones they use to grind wheat with. Be better for you to do that than to hurt the innocents, to hurt the little children. The vaccines, all of it. This whole system is so evil. And through compartmentalization, most people who are not bad at heart are helping carry it out. So no matter how horrible the truth is, I'm going to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And not because I'm a hero, and not because I'm perfect, but because I know how evil the globalists are. In other countries where they've got full control, it was even the New York Times 2 years ago, Paul Watson wrote about it. They send in UN troops into villages where people have been for 1,000 years because it's a UN carbon sink, and they're taking this land so they can mine over here, and they line them up and shoot them and burn down their houses. And then they have articles about, well, it's for the earth. See how it's just, oh, yeah, we're just mowing villagers down. It's no big deal. But, oh, my gosh, the police are so racist. You know, let's have a war with them. And it's not that there isn't some bad stuff happening. It's that the system is choosing to do that. Obviously, it's a divide and conquer tactic. Obviously, it's a takeover program. And you could just see a classic communist destabilization program that I've historically researched all over the world 30, 40 times, and that I've seen on air in 20 years dozens of times. I mean, this is a shake and bake operation. Just like I know how to make box pancakes, folks, I could sit back and watch the globalists making this. I mean, this is a ABCDEFG type deal. And I'm just sitting here with horror going, my gosh, we really were right. They really are doing it. They really are establishing planetary government. They really are opening the borders and saying our kids belong to the state and teaching 2 + 2 = 5 and saying we didn't build our businesses and geoengineering. I mean, Bill Gates is a supervillain beyond anything in a James Bond movie. He's involved in weather manipulation with hurricanes. That's mainstream news. He's got a fleet of aircraft messing with hurricanes. He's involved in chemtrailing, but what he's doing is classified. Warren Buffett, involved in every evil you can imagine. George Soros, involved in every evil you can imagine. The Rockefellers, involved in everything you can imagine. The Saudi royal family, the British royal family, the Rothschilds, it's crazy. We're living in a science fiction dystopia that they're billing as a utopia. And they have model cities where they allow some industry and some freedom, but only because people accept globalism. And then everyone looks to that. Austin's one of these cities. To then adopt all this so they'll be prosperous, but really it's like a bear trap. Steve Quayle's our guest. I want to go to Jerry and have him finish up, and then I want to get to all these callers that have been holding. Steve Quayle is our guest, but this is an epic time to be alive. Jerry, finish up your point.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to say, if you watch what they put on TV, they're telling us what they've got coming. And in 2 weeks, they have a person of interest coming out where a computer virus crashes the stock market. How did they dovetail that, filming months and months ago, with what's going on today with the Sony hack and the stock market hitting record highs?
Oh, absolutely.
They already know what was going to happen.
Most people get their news from from entertainment, so that's where they put the programming. That's on record. Great point. Steve Quayle, that brings up what I raised earlier. AP reports U.S. economy accelerates and helps lift Dow to 18,000 points. Derivatives and fiat dollars are what are inflating the stock market as the real economy dies. What's your view on the economy next year?
Well, first of all, I think we're going to have a bank crash. I think the Sony hack, if people look at what's happened to the Sony hack, for the first time, corporate veil has been broken, and they're going to go after, and whoever is responsible is brilliant, because they're going after the people that make up the corporation. A corporation is an artificial construct that basically protects everybody from liability. I think you're going to see, Alex, the takedown of some of the major global corporations this way. And what's happening now, listen, the targeting is changing. Some of these guys are going to be whacked. Just like the Grill Economist B stated, back before, I think there were 12 bankers and international financiers killed, murdered, assassinated, suicided. Now we're up to close to 40. But what I think people have got to recognize is that this Sony attack and hack, and we're being told that our financial institutions are in great danger. We're being told that, yet people will keep their money in banks and non-interest-bearing CDs. And again, look at this. Alex, I have talked to very wealthy people. In Montana, we have a place called the Yellowstone Club. The world's billionaires, half of them that you just, or almost all of them that you just named, live up there or have one of their many houses around the world up there. So they don't live if Yellowstone is going to blow within 30 miles of Yellowstone. I'm just telling you that. But in all of this, the point being is that the cyber attack on the bank is coming. Now that it's been effective in Sony, see what's happened? They've already made the precedent that one of the biggest corporations in the world, the entertainment corporation of the world, is no longer safe. And everybody who's related to that corporation is no longer safe. I also believe that Hollywood has sown evil, and now they're going to reap the whirlwind. I think they're going to reap it. Now, let's talk about the 18,000 Dow. For the record, 18,000 is 666. I believe the Illuminati, as at different times, they put their signals to all of their members and their buddies out there for everyone to see. That is so disjointed from the real world. They will never tell the truth. All the government's numbers are lies, all of them. That's why John Williams' Shadow Stats is such an important site. Look, you can't have 100 million people unemployed. You can't have $1 trillion in student loans. You can't have these people unemployed and then be bringing in, 18 million immigrants through the border and displacing people. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have a job, you can't buy a house. You know what all the housing prices, all the housing sales are going?
50 million people on food stamps and growing. Imagine soup lines with 50 million in them every day.
It won't happen, Alex. They'll start to poison them. One of the top military guys told me, he said, the plan is, Steve, do you remember years ago, right after 9/11, this is critical, that they were really concerned with spray planes?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Spray planes. I don't think people understand, and now I'm not talking biological, I'm talking chemical. If you have a very closed community and you know the winds are right, you basically fly over, kind of like Goldfinger, James Bond, and you just take out everybody, okay? So the plan is even on the trains, some people still don't believe there are prison cars ready to set. The plan is to take them out to a spur line, and basically, it's funny, the prison cars will be in front behind the engine, and behind that are the bulldozers and the caterpillars, and they just basically spray everybody in the prison cars. You see, this is what they're saying they're going to do. This is what insiders have told me they're going to do. And still, people go, I don't believe that. So here's the deal. For those of you that always fall back on the don't believe that, or that anytime anybody tells the truth, the shill factor gets in, and the permanent propaganda crew in the Illumina start going on saying, well, these guys are crazy, these guys are doom porners, or whatever they say, okay?
Fear porn.
Yes, Alex, you have been right, I have been right, and there's no one who can deny it with the thousands of hours of broadcast. Well, we didn't warn people way, many years ago, if not decades.
Well, I know this. There are people running things, and it doesn't matter if it's the CIA, the FBI, Interpol, MI6, MI5. There are good people in all those organizations. In fact, per capita, there might be even more good people in them because they are inside and somewhat decompartmentalized compared to the public, so they know what's going on. But it doesn't matter because at the top of almost all those organizations are key globalists that are controlling it and controlling the narrative. But because there are so many good people in the system now, it's hurting the globalists because they get caught when they pull things. But here is the larger problem in that, is that the public, on average, is so dumbed down, they don't give support to the good people inside the system that would try to tell people the truth about what's happening. I mean, look at all the pedophile scandals in the British government. They do that to compromise people. Look at just all the craziness that has already come out. It makes my head spin. Lori in California, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Thank you, Alex. I have 4 points I'd like to make, and I'll be really quick. The first is I think that the globalists are going to hit us on all fronts. I don't think they're going to let up. I think there's going to be a lot of false flags to divert us, but they'll still keep going under the wire to attack us. And secondly, the northern counties in California are trying to secede from Southern California. I don't know if you're aware of that because
Yes.
we're not being represented. Fourthly, I'd like to remind people, thirdly and fourthly, Lung Cleanse helped me get over that viral gook that's going around in 4 days where it's taking my friends 3 weeks to a month. And I'd also like to remind people, prepare for their pets also.